literature of the different religions of this holy world is the most powerful weapon in the hands of this modern man. Languages of the different religions makes us feel the presence of Lord or God. But language can be understood naturally from the whole holy scriptures of this holy land. All holy scriptures were written in the form of nature. Nature witnessed, nature became evident. And in the presence of nature, it is said that nature never cheat, defeat, beat, deceive us. But worldly people, materialistic people, selfish people, physically that we have around us, they may cheat us, defeat us, deceive us anytime. So, it is not the question of avoiding or unavoiding. But the question here is that do we associate with that energy or that power which was advocated by Swami Vivekananda? Swamiji, born in 1863, just after the 6 years of India's first struggle against the English people was started in 1857. In the same decade, we read that there was the birth of Mahatma Gandhi in 1869. Many personalities, numberless great men, free thinkers, freedom fighters, starters, beginners, initiators, created in India, generated, operated in India. We find them in the form of multicultural and multicolored. There is the unique matchlessness, we find in their methods of teaching, in their methods of meditation. As we have 9 or 10 senses, according to Hindu mythology there are 10 senses, according to Christianity there are 5 senses. And all the senses are sufficient, proficient to repeat the holy words of this holy land. There are different ways of doing meditation, but the easiest, but the most modern and trendy method of meditation that was advocated by Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj, repetition of the holy words. But according to Hindu mythology, we read there are numberless ways of doing meditation. Soundless is God, lightless is God. We can feel the presence of that Lord or God from any practice or exercise of the sense. We can feel His unlimitedness. It is possible. So Swamiji went at many places for addressing the message of Brahmacharya. That is the true aim of our life. That makes us strengthened physically, emotionally, mentally, educationally, even spiritually. It gives us strength. According to Hindu mythology, just by listening sounds we can meditate. Just by watching ray of light we can meditate. Today in social media, on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, we see different kind of audios, videos. This is the most modern way of idolatry. But it's not extraordinary and uncommon for the Hindu people, because this science was the most developed in Ravana Kal. In Dwapar, we read this thing. Our forefathers, our foretellers, forecasters, they were so advanced scientifically. Today's science is nothing before them. But that science was the science of unlimitedness, infinite, matchlessness, incomparable, completeless. Ravana's science tells us that he was the competent speaker, reader, writer, listener, and understooder. God understood everything from the Vedas, deeply analyzed, observed, explained, described, and mentioned all the facts that were explained in the Vedas, the holy Vedas. He read all them. Later on, by materialism, by spreading out his family, this enlargedness of his family made him so self-centered, self-conceited. He became away from the spiritualism. He became away from Lord Rama's blessings, and ultimately, by becoming egoist, he forgot the Lord Rama's power and was killed by God, Lord Rama. It happened in the history. History is the evident witness. Today, if we do something good for others, whether somebody praises us or not, admire us or not, appreciate us or not, we should unrelentingly, unceasingly, and unstoppingly continue to do the work for the welfare of society and nation. It is the true aim of life. Because our national heritage is unlimited. The gold treasure is unlimited. Unlimited actions we have done, good or bad. So for removing them out, for dealing with them, it is very necessary to do the good works unrelentingly, unceasingly and unstoppingly, without taking any break, whether someone may praise us or not. Dear friends, it's the land of actions. It is said in all our holy religions of this holy land, we should never stop at any point and never seek any point for the welfare of this false praise, false affection, sensual pleasure. Further, our great man says that no man is poor in this world, because we have the treasure of breath with us. When we born from the womb of the holy land of this holy mother, then we came in this world with a great treasure of breaths, and we spent our time in this dark age with the family members of Saturn, avariciousness, falsification, ego, lust, sensual pleasure. These things became the family members of our holy soul. And we forgot the price of our breath. How these priceless, valuable, most precious breath we are getting. We are taking the air in, we are taking the air out. Day by day, one by one, we are wasting our time in collecting the falsification, in collecting the false goods. Eternal power, that celestial power, it was, it is, and it will. About what Swami Vivekananda appreciated by saying that unread is more powerful than read. Unheard, unlistened, unwritten, unspoken. How these such situations are more powerful? Swamiji explained it in his words. Further, Swamiji says that importance of the aim of character, formation and development. Character puts impact on other developments also of man. Human thoughts originate in the man. A sound character brings calmness in human behavior and life philosophy. It brings purity in human thoughts. Man gives up his antisocial tendencies. A man of good character presents an ideal for others. Only character decides the limit of humanity. A man of sound character is respected by all, and a characterless man is scope on society and nation. Only the character of man is preserver and safeguard of culture and civilization. It transfers and directs the civilization to next generation. Character is the basic point of thoughts and philosophy. And philosophy of idealist. If the character is removed from idealism, nothing remains. Criticism of the aids of character formation and development. According to time and place, definition and meaning of character has been changing. Therefore, it is very confusing to decide what is character, as the scope of character is very extensive. Character development puts a positive impact on the aims of education. To deliver speech of character formation to child is to block his natural development, because child thinks that education teaches only the lesson of morality, and only morality can't provide satisfaction in his modern development age. Character development under education seems only an imagination. When a child sees the teacher doing entirely opposite activities, therefore, sound character should be an indispensable condition for all the teachers, but it is not so. When a child sees other social persons making antisocial activities, he is attracted towards them, thinking that there are definitely important works. Other aspects are also important along with character formation, but these are ignored at the process of character formation. After the character education, students looks at other students with hateful view. He regards them inferior to him. To suppress the child's desires becomes the cause of its several mental disorders. Excessive force on character formation makes child's view concise and narrow, but in developed modern age, he realizes himself not completely developed. Only character formation and life living are separate aspects. So education regarding life living is also necessary with character formation. Behavioralists and naturalists do not give many importance to it. They state that in beginning it is futile to seek the character formation before an uneducated person. Thus, after considering upon merits and demerits, it can be said that character formation is an aspect for entire development of child. It is necessary to pay full attention to the child, otherwise the child would not be able to succeed in social and family life. Today, our present Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, whose name Narendra was taken from the childhood name of Swami Vivekananda. Perhaps we have gone through the story or history of Swami Vivekananda, He was one of the greatest social reformists who brought revolutionary and visionary change in the world. Dear students, you know that Indian history is one of the irremediable history in the world. Different social reformists came for addressing us the message of love, universal love, brotherhood, sisterhood, fatherhood, motherhood. So this is the land of humanity, and it is said in all our holy religions of this holy land, humanity is our caste, humanity is our holy religion. Aims of cultural development. The study of history of ancient culture exposes that education is the medium which is uncountable for the development of culture of any nation. This can be transferred from one progeny to next through education. Gandhiji had strongly emphasized the culture. According to Gandhiji, culture is the formation, the primary thing. It should show itself in the smallest detail of your conduct and personal behavior. According to E.V. Twitter, culture is the completeness in which knowledge, belief, art, morality, custom, and other qualification and habits are involved, and which the man achieves as a social member. Man gets the heritage of society with the help of education and then transfers to next generation. Through education, culture is kept safe for next progeny. This process is going on in all the nations. Education system should be such that a child may get the education of social and spiritual values artistically, so that a child may understand their complete meaning and modify them according to its requirement. Criticisms of the aim of the cultural development. The aim of cultural education enhances traditional life in man. Of the basis of old experiences, orthodoxiness arises in the view of man. Cultural education is the form of theoretical education only. It lacks practicalness. On this basis, bookish knowledge get an appreciation. This aim increases narrowness in thoughts of man. Teaching methods of cultural education are ancient and explanatory. Not like modern methods, the scope of culture is very extensive, so its limitation is impossible, as the culture has several faults. Education also becomes faulty, so it is very difficult to decide its refined form. Thus we can understand that education of culture in modern times for a child is beneficial. But at present this should not be given excessive preference. Useful and practical knowledge of ancient culture should be provided necessarily. According to T.P. Nunn, national and traditional institutions have a performance on society which make the individual life a trivial thing. So culture is not only the basis of education, but it is an aim also. No doubt the knowledge of culture is very useful, which provides help in the moral development and character formation. Aim of the spiritual development. All the philosophies of education have determined different aims of education. Idealists consider that the main aim of education is to develop spiritual tendencies of a child. They have not regarded material progress as an aim. Plato had chiefly regarded spiritual progress. According to Rusk, education must enable mankind through its culture to enter more and more into the spiritual realm and also to enlarge the boundaries of spiritual realm. Spirituality brings holiness in child's thoughts and develops his meditation power. Spirituality controls the activities of man, inspiring religious tendency of man. Consequently, child does not involve in anti-social activities and leads the development of his personality in positive direction. Feelings of fraternity, sacrifice and cooperation develop in him. What's the importance of the aim of spiritual development? It helps the determination of ideals. It brings purity in thoughts. It develops a spiritual view. In child, imagination and meditation power develops. Feelings of fraternity, affection, cooperation, charity, etc. develop. This aim enhances the scope of knowledge of a child. It is the basis of mental peace and satisfaction. Thus, this aim compels the man for good behavior and feelings because he is always afraid of any supernatural power. So he always makes efforts not to hurt anyone and lead a peaceful life. Criticisms of the aim of spiritual development. The aim of spiritual education is to give priority in abstract knowledge, whereas practical knowledge is necessary. This is not a means of living. This aim fills hatredness to worldly bondages. So social and practical knowledge of a man is blocked. In earlier classes, this is nothing than a story. Because these facts can be understood with mental progress. Spirituality destroys wishes and ambitions of a child. Every child cannot be favorable to nature. So this aim is unnatural and unpsychological. Certainly, the aim of education is important, but its teaching is beneficial only when the child has enough understanding power and capacity of meditation and imagination. Only then they can do self-realization and self-contemplation. Indian educationists emphasize on development of spirituality because this is necessary for social, religious and international unity. Criticisms of the aim of spiritual development, the aim of spiritual education is to give priority in abstract knowledge, whereas practical knowledge is necessary. This is not a means of living. This aim feels hatredness to worldly bondages, so social and practical knowledge of a man is blocked. In earlier classes, this is nothing than a story, because these facts can be understood with mental progress. Spirituality destroys wishes and ambitions of a child. Every child cannot be favorable to nature. So this aim is unnatural and unsafe only when the child has enough understanding, power, and capacity of meditation and imagination. What is the role of language in education? Miss Kelly said that when you talk to somebody, it's like you are playing ball first, and that means they throw the ball to you. But you have to do more than just catch a question like you. Here is the important part. When somebody asks how you are, you can't just say fine. You say fine, thank you, and how are you? What does this have to do with everything I said? Miss Kelly said, you have to throw the ball back. So I threw it back, and by mistake, the ball hit Miss Boland. Vygotsky, 1978, writes that children solve practical tasks with the help of their speech, as well as their eyes and hands. In Vygotsky's view, speech is an extension of intelligence and thoughts, a way to interact with one's environment. The most significant moment in the course of intellectual development, which gives birth to the purely human forms of practical and abstract intelligence, occurs when speech and practical activity, two previously completely independent lines of development, converge. This high level of development this permits them to consider consequences of actions before performing them. But most of all, language serves as a means of social interaction. The basis of परमेश्वर हमारा ऊंचा गढ़ है, हमारा का परमेश्वर हमारा ऊंचा गढ़ है। आकाश बनाया जिसने पृथ्वी बनाई, ने आकाश बनाया जिसने पृथ्वी बनाई। ये कुछ संभव हुआ हमारे संग संग है, जो लिए सब संभव